LGBTQ+ researchers face a variety of challenges when undertaking fieldwork, which require bespoke solutions and systemic changes to the way we work. A series of focus groups, led by researchers at the University of Leeds, was conducted to highlight opportunities for positive change towards inclusive, diverse, and equitable fieldwork. A critical point raised in these focus groups was the internal diversity of LGBTQ+ communities. Just as the experiences of LGBTQ+ researchers are not homogeneous, neither are the solutions to the challenges they face. With this understanding, systemic top-down solutions were put forward, but with the emphasis that policies need tailoring to specific field scenarios and with the participation of those affected. Institutions need to provide clear guidance on privacy issues. The right to privacy, particularly in relation to gendered toilets and to sleeping arrangements, was a major concern in each focus group. Most institutions lack guidance on how to resolve instances where fieldwork locations require spaces to be shared on the basis of binary sex. Instead, typically limited or untrained staff are asked to make case-by-case decisions on where non-binary and trans individuals are placed. Institutional guidance would reduce pressures on staff and decrease the risk of alienation and harm for trans and non-binary researchers in particular. This guidance must include clear pathways to involve their researcher in the decision-making and to select acceptable trade-offs, such as the loss of social and networking opportunities in non-shared accommodations. In addition to improved guidance, researchers in leadership positions should advocate for equitable fieldwork locations and site selection based on the provision of inclusive and gender-neutral facilities. For creating inclusive field research environments, appropriate training is key. One of the needs highlighted by LGBTQ+ field researchers was additional allyship and awareness training for those in support roles and for more open conversations about the difficulties faced by LGBTQ+ researchers in the field. Within focus groups, however, there was unanimous concern that training was likely to be poorly attended, either as a result of disinterest, conflicting time pressures, or overconfidence in an assumed understanding of the topic. It may therefore be necessary for institutions and research groups to install mandatory training sessions to ensure the attendance of everyone in management or support roles, regardless of prior knowledge or interest.
There's a lot of fear and not a lot of education. And as somebody who identifies as LGBTQ+ myself, I'm as ignorant as many in most of these issues. It puts a lot of stress on the staff, which makes it then hard to be inclusive.
As well as training for allies, LGBTQ+ researchers emphasized that they were also in need of additional training to support their peers. Minoritized groups are much more likely to be approached than more privileged colleagues by peers and students in need of support. Yet, the diversity of individuals and identities within the LGBTQ+ community can leave often overlooked gaps where training is required.
I've had people say, "Oh, that doesn't happen in my field," but that's because they didn't come to you. But I assure you it did, because they're talking to people lower down. But then as a PGR, you're torn between, well, I've got to look after this student now, but I've got no training. Do I talk to the staff? Do I tell the staff about this issue? Where's the confidentiality? Where are the boundaries? I think it can be so confusing to know how to handle something appropriately.
Visibility-raising initiatives that highlight the experiences of LGBTQ+ colleagues can benefit field research culture by reducing social barriers to participation and empowering authentic presentation. These initiatives can help reduce levels of social isolation on site by creating a sense of community, create safe spaces for open discussion of LGBTQ+ specific issues, and provide contacts who are already familiar with the site's culture and facilities to guide and inform incoming LGBTQ+ researchers who might be concerned when entering a new environment or situation. However, visibility campaigns must be meaningfully combined with institutional support, training, and professional recognition for LGBTQ+ colleagues if overburdening is to be avoided. Increasing the visibility of allies and forms of active allyship may also help to reduce these burdens on LGBTQ+ researchers by offering a greater selection of safe contacts with the necessary training and compassion. For researchers who undertake lone fieldwork, or who are uncomfortable discussing issues with their field team, a 24-hour support hotline should be made available to address concerns that arise in the field. Researchers should be encouraged to use this hotline with the same level of importance and urgency as physical safety concerns. From the beginning of the fieldwork process, academic leadership should take actions to foster an inclusive environment. These actions should be led and initiated by a senior member of the research group, regardless of whether there are visible LGBTQ+ team members. This will help to avoid the need for minorities in positions of lower professional and social power, having to be their own primary advocates in unknown and potentially unsafe spaces. Our final video highlights practical strategies for LGBTQ+ inclusive field research, which can be implemented immediately within research groups.